Welcome back to the Deal Vault podcast. If you're a real estate investor looking to scale, secure funding, and learn from real deals, you're in the right place. I'm Greg, and together with Nate and Sarah, we'll sit down each week and break down market trends, funding strategies, real deal stories from our investors. Now, if you're ready to unlock knowledge, relationships, and capital you need, let's open the vault. We will all turn our attention to Sarah because this is where she comes in, but just to recap what's happened. I've brought the pen to the conversation to Nate. He's my loan guy. We've got a loan that's got his best rate. Hey, but it also makes sense for what I'm doing. It accounted for all of the stuff.
It's the best fit for this scenario.
And I see that. I appreciate you, Nate, having accounted for all of those things. I'm ready to move forward. Woohoo! High five. Let's do this thing.
That was weak.
That was
It was pretty weak. It's like,
can we try again? There you go.
There we go.
so yay, we're doing this. What now, Sarah? Like, what happens? How do I get from I see this loan, I want it,
This is where the
to
magic
I have
has
it.
to
I
happen
have that loan.
to
What do I do?
where it needs to be. So essentially, I think when I'm like training a new team member, like I always just like to explain to them that when it starts with the salesperson, right? They're getting the initial summary of whatever information is needed. We're the ones that, as it gets closer and closer to the closing table, have to verify with something else that information was
Prove it.
accurate. Prove it. We are the ones that are helpful in doing that. And so it's essential for us really as early as possible to validate as much as we can. Because what we've learned along the way is the more we wait until later, the more everyone works on this file and doesn't catch something. And I mean, you guys know like how frustrating that is for you walking alongside a borrower to and we do every once in a while miss something, right? There are those situations where something fell between the crack. We forgot to ask the question, or maybe somebody asked the question, forgot to note that it was a thing. And it's like, post appraisal, and we're like, oh crap, they didn't have enough trade lines or their credit or something. Or maybe something was happening that delayed the file with the title work. And now we have to repull credit, and we're like, oh crap, this
Can we say
sucks.
crap? Oh, is Grammy going to be able to listen to
Said
this?
poo pants.
I did say poo-poo pants.
I think he's saying crap.
Argazzi world, I don't think you're allowed to say
Yeah, crap.
You can say crap and stuff.
Okay.
crap
Thank
and
you.
stuff.
But
But I think
I think a really common thing that comes up, just as an example of like, what are these things that we try to catch early?
Right.
Property reports and
Yeah.
zoning.
So like, especially if we're talking DSCR loans, right? Like it's hyper fixated on that DSCR calculation, which is we need to verify the expenses, right? And so we need to verify, the tax amount. We need to really look at the zoning, right? I think a lot of pitfalls is like sometimes borrowers as investors, they buy a property that has been changed from a single family to a duplex, and they didn't ask appropriate questions when they bought it. And so they have to do all this back work to get it permitted because they bought it unpermitted. So there's unfortunately some stuff that we're dealing with that isn't always our borrower's fault. And sometimes they don't even know it until we start pulling these reports. And we usually do a soft credit pull again because everything is off of stated credit. And we also understand it's really, really important for our investors to protect their credit. And so we do a soft pull just to make sure that we are actually like on the right track with the rate, with what it was quoted.
What was your score? Do you
what
have
was
enough
cool-
trade lines?
Trade line, you
Five.
have any lates that are going to disqualify you from being able to get approved. And then we do dig into, the property report. Does it show that you own it, right? Are you the actual owner on a refi? Obviously. Or if it's a purchase, we have a lot of wholesalers out there nowadays. And so sometimes we don't even know, like they may not even know that they're buying the property from a wholesaler, not the seller.
You'd be surprised at how much stuff comes up. Even on, the wholesaler is pretty easy to see how there can be confusion there. But I'm refinancing a property, and when we go do our
Yeah.
property report, on paper, you don't. Like, we believe that you have the paperwork that proves that you would own it on paper, but that hasn't fully been executed. Like, now we have a new problem solved. We're happy to do that. But like, man, it's really nice to catch that early on instead of
Right.
when you're ready to
Yes.
sign and get
For
funded.
sure.
That's bad. So you want to catch that stuff early on.
Which we catch problems all the time, but the earlier we can catch it, the more we can sync up our problem-solving solutions with the rest of the loan approval process. We can, even provide clarity, back to our account executive and just be like, "Hey, I don't know if you knew this. Can you pre-flight this with our lending partner so that we don't move forward with an appraisal unless we know that this is going to be something we could, maybe it's not worked through yet, but something that we could work through while the other things are happening." I think that's really important is we don't identify problems and say, "Oh, stop until we resolve it." We identify the problems with the hope that we can sync the timeline up with everything else that we're already working through that maybe not and it's not a problem. And so essentially, yeah, we're doing that almost, I mean, as soon as the application hits our inbox, right? We are validating credit, property. We're going to look at the flood map, right? Because for a DSCR loan, a lot of real estate investors, if they bought it cash or maybe their fix and flip lender didn't require them to have flood insurance because they're doing renovations. But for a DSCR calculation, if it isn't a flood zone, like that's a whole nother insurance policy. So we have to make sure, really if the cash flow is really great, it's not as big of a deal, but we still need to know the actuals. And so we can pull, the property tax information. And then we really start with like the bare minimum on the docs and like funnel it through. Because what we found is that if we send out everything, people focus on the things that are not as big of a priority.
You get paralyzed. I have to
Yeah.
give you 500 things. I mean, it's not 500 things, but like what?
Right.
What? And then you start with maybe the
Right.
most unhelpful things
So
to keep your deal moving forward. Like the helpful
Sure.
things are keep this thing moving
Moving.
forward.
So really from there, like if we're talking DSCR loan, if you've already got it rented and, it's been rented for a while, like the best thing you could do is before you even start, make sure your lease documentation is clean, it's organized, it's executed, the rent amount actually matches the rent you're collecting. If you have other fees, like put that on there, like make it clear, make it as clear as possible because we may need to validate the actual proof of rent, which in most cases we do. And then the other thing is if you're doing a DSCR loan and let's say you're doing the BRRRR strategy and you just purchase the property and invest it in the rehab,
That's-
doesn't have to be super detailed, but we need proof of on paper a scope of work of what you completed. We need
We
to
got
know what,
templates for that.
yeah, we have all of that. And so we try to make those things super simple. And we will review those things again, not to halt the loan, but really to hone in on what is the next priority. Okay, we've got the lease agreement, it matches. Again, we were checking the expenses for actuals. Now we need to verify that the income is actually the income and that the cost, that you've put into this is very clear, right? If you just bought it, what is the skin in the game that you put in on the rehab? And so we kind of start there. And then, if we are checking those boxes, we really want to move to the valuation as quickly as possible because that is really the crux in all of our loan programs is how much is the property actually worth. And usually we get the market rents in there and some more data. But like I said, we've learned to identify problems, title, documents as early as possible, not to halt, but to get on top of it before, the ball is rolling to try to get to closing.
So I mean, closing and funding is the end goal. So we do all this document collection. It culminates in a few like key moments. One, order the appraisal and get
For
that going because the timeline it's third party. It's how fast can Mr. or Mrs. Appraiser get it done. We can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yes.
You're welcome.
One of them. Thank you for the shout out.
That's a Nateism. We keep that moving forward because you got to wait for the appraisal.
Right.
But we want to collect all the paperwork to culminate in submitting all of it, a full package with if there were any problems we identified, hopefully we've solved those or can show that we're solving it to submit to Mr. or Mrs. Underwriter, the full package so they can say, I've reviewed this whole thing. Give me X, Y, and or Z. And we resubmit those last, let's say, 3 things for final underwrite. They say, thank you.
Right.
I see those 3.
Sure.
And once they've said that, you get the magic words,
Yes.
which
Clear to
is
close.
clear to close.
I would just say, like, a lot of borrowers from what I see, like, there's a lot of situations where borrowers, they don't want to put the work in until they have assurance that the value and the appraisal is going to be good. And I would say, like, ultimately, like I said in past conversations, like, paperwork sucks. Nobody wants to do it at all, even if it has a purpose. But if you feel like you're doing it and you don't even know what your value is going to be, like, I get it. But if you can be proactive and work while we're waiting, the goal is that we can get you to the closing table much faster. And I think the borrowers, if I were to pull our processing team that get the most frustrated, are the ones that don't work ahead. They don't provide the documents so that we can package it up and have it all ready so that by the time the valuation hits, we've already worked on, all of the borrower's documents, their entity documents. We've already worked
All
on
cleaned up.
title, insurance. Like, we feel confident it's nice and clean. The ones that get the most frustrated, I don't know, maybe you disagree with me, but I feel like it's the ones that don't take the advice. They see the request for the documents to come in and they think, I'll just wait. I'll just wait.
Appraisal looks great. When can we close?
I know. And even if it's a refi and there is no pressure, there's something that switches in the borrower's mind. And so if they don't know that it's there, it's 100% there every time. And I think it would be there for me too. Is there's this pinnacle of the valuation, and once it comes in, everybody wants to rush to
But
close.
there's those 2 steps afterwards,
Yeah.
which is we
Yeah.
gotta get the file really submitted,
Yeah.
the initial underwrite, so we gotta know, like, what very few things do we still need to clean up, and
Sure.
sometimes that's just, "Hey, insurance is approved, now just bind it," right?
Yeah.
Like, it's stuff like
Yeah.
that, or, "Hey, title looks great, they forgot to cross this T, make
Right.
sure they get this endorsement." Borrower may not even have to do any of that stuff, but we can't get there
Right.
until we have that
Well,
package.
I just think the borrowers that are not leveraging doing that are missing out on the support really from our team. Because what happens is if they're doing it early on, our team should have the bandwidth to start reviewing it and letting them know, like, is this what we need, or do we need something else? But if it's not done ahead of time, then what happens is that's all happening in the pressure cooker, right? Of like, we need to close immediately, take this document, and we're rushing because you're rushing us to try to get it to underwriting. So we can't even look at it and help you say, oh, wait, we need something different because you're just sliding it over when we're almost to the finish line. And
You're
so it helps you to let us be your partner by getting it to us earlier, letting us clear it when we're not in the closing must happen immediately pressure cooker.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, your transaction manager, while you're waiting for that appraisal to come back, your transaction manager, processor on the file, they're your subject matter expert on all
100%.
things administrative and getting you ready for underwriting.
Like they know, like they're smart. They know what the underwriter is going to want to see. You've seen like 10 leases. They've seen hundreds of leases. They've worked through hundreds of problems with leases.
Like
And
this
so
month, they've seen 100 leases.
today, maybe not today, but yeah, they know any type of variation that could or couldn't work with your documents, and that's what their expertise is, like you said. And so, the earlier you can get it to them, the earlier you can take advantage of it. And I think you're doing a disservice to yourself if you wait.
Well, and you're going to have this nice tight file that gets submitted.
Anything, let me just say, if the loan doesn't close, you'll probably have better paperwork. And that's never gonna be a bad thing, right? They're gonna clean up your lease, they're gonna clean up your entity, and tell you it's wrong. They're gonna work with title. Like, let's say worst case scenario, something happened and you cannot close that loan. You're still better off than when you started. It's not like you're losing anything.
So we've prepped all this stuff. Borrowers now, because they listen to this podcast, of course, they're now
Right.
excited to get that paperwork to our team. They prepped it. We've
Some
been
paperwork.
we've been submitted for underwrite. They come back with a couple conditions. Hey, title just needs to get this endorsement and cross this T on the thing. We get that. We resubmit to Mr. or Mrs. Underwriter, and they say, "Hey, looks clean.
Yeah.
You are now
Clear
clear to
close.
close." And then realistically, that day or the next day, typically sometime around there, you schedule the close with your title company. Sometimes you can do a mobile notary, and we're funding a few days after that. Like,
sure.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's what it normally should look like. Sometimes there's some deviation from that depending on which lender we're
Which
working.
again, it all goes back to like we are getting the proof from the initial conversation. So the better your initial conversation is, the better, our team can look at what is needed to prove that, right? If we don't know, we need to prove it. And so coming with clarity and transparency at the beginning is going to allow us, even if you have something that is not going to look good.
Mhm.
We've seen it. We've probably seen it 100 times, we can tell you what we need, right? Even if it is a tarnish on your background or something like that you're thinking, I
Without
don't want
warrant
anyone to know.
situation.
Guess what? We will find out. And we would rather know that earlier so we can, again, start helping problem solve what the underwriter could need. Or if we really think that it's detrimental to the file, wouldn't you rather us know earlier than at the finish line? Like how
So
frustrating.
we can pivot or problem solve in a different way. So we do all that. And then if you had to pivot, we go through that same process. You submit for initial underwrite, you clear the final conditions, get a clear to close, and you fund. So
Yeah.
that's the path from, hey, thanks, Nate. This loan looks awesome. I will complete my loan application, send it over to someone like Sarah and her team. Great. Let's get that appraisal order. Let's work on some paperwork. While we're doing that, we're walking and chewing gum so we can get in front of Mr. Underwriter or Mrs. Underwriter and we can prove all of the stuff. And they say, yeah, hey, this proves out, it matches the loan guidelines, approved, we can close and fund. So that's kind of what that looks like. That's the goal. And that's how we can help facilitate the smoothest transaction is bring the pen to the conversation, prove out said conversation, close, fund, and do it again.
Do it again. That's what we're here for sure.
Awesome.
Do I get a fist bump?
Fist bump.
Yay.
You did it. Thanks for listening to The Deal Vault. If you found value in today's episode, be sure to subscribe and share with another investor and leave us a review. If you're looking for help funding your next deal, you can always holler at us at loanbids.com. We'd love to help you on that deal. Until next time, keep building, keep investing.